Hello, everybody. My name is Graham Elwood, and you are watching the Political Vigilante. Bringing the truth up there, folks. Sometimes it's hard to swallow. Like, all our presidents are war criminals. But George W. Bush is like one of the bigger war criminals because he lied about weapons of mass destruction that got us into war. They all lied. And it has cost, over 1 million lives in Iraq. And this guy is such a lying war criminal that this is what he said recently talking about Ukraine, which is why the Ukraine thing, this alone should prove to you that this saber rattling to defend Ukraine is nonsense. It is just to push more war. I'm not happy with what Putin is doing. I don't want him in there. I don't like war. But and I hope the Ukrainian people understand, the American military industrial complex does not care that it's destroying Ukraine and ruining Ukrainians' lives for generations. It doesn't care. It just cares about money. And every president, Bush, Obama, Trump, Biden, all war criminals. Here's what Bush just said recently, though.
Video of a former president going viral on social media tonight. It comes from a speech George W. Bush gave tonight at the Bush Center in Dallas. While speaking about the authoritarian regime in Russia and Vladimir Putin's invasion of Ukraine, Mr. Bush made a verbal blunder.
The result is an absence of checks and balances in Russia and the decision of one man to launch a wholly unjustified and brutal invasion of of Ukraine. Iraq, anyway.
Oh, whoops. We destroyed Babylon, the birthplace of modern culture. We just blew it up. Sorry. This is how detestable the American empire is. Whatever filthy, dumb, warmongering leader, and by the way, Obama's a war criminal. He's a war criminal, not as dumb and aw shucks as this, but a war criminal nonetheless. We just laugh about it. Everything he said, unjust, unchecked, that was America going into Iraq. And once again, Ukraine is about oil and pipelines and NATO, spending money on NATO troops. That's all it's about. It's unbelievable. It's so disgusting.
75.
Mr. Bush's reference to his age, 75 years old, drew nervous laughter from the crowd. More than 4,000 American troops were killed in the Iraq war, along with tens of thousands of Iraqi civilians. In other remarks, Mr. Bush referred to Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky as, quote, a cool little guy and the Churchill of the 21st century. Hello, I'm Mark Brown. Get more great ABC7 content.
We won't do that. 15 years, more than 1 million dead, no one held responsible. So even that's the LA affiliate, the ABC affiliate in Los Angeles, where that clip is from, where it's like even tens of thousands. So even that, we still got corporate media downplaying. No. ABC7 in LA. It's 1 million, more than 1 million. The war in Iraq's latest anniversary passed an all-American silence. This is from the anniversary of the invasion. And this was in Esquire magazine, by the way. That's our kind of just haha. Isn't that funny? And then even the corporate media is like, boy, tens of thousands, 4,000 dead service members, which is awful, but 1 million dead Iraqis? 1 million. And remember Hillary Clinton voted for the war in Iraq? Remember that? Obama said he was going to get us out of there and he pulled the troops out, but then just kept bombing. He actually dropped more bombs than Bush. Obama did. I hate these people. I hate the Bushes. I hate the Obamas. I hate the Clintons. I hate the Trumps. I hate the Bidens. These people are awful, awful people. And why Americans still feel some sort of allegiance to one of these sides, the red or the blue team, is beyond me. We've been so propagandized to just pick a team that like, well, I'm a Republican, so I stand with Bush and Trump. Well, I'm a Democrat. I stand with Obama and the Clintons. I don't stand with any of them. This is 1 million human beings. This isn't 1 million terrorists. I've been to Iraq 3 times as a stand-up comic, entertaining the United States military and coalition forces. And I saw firsthand two things. One, it was all working class kids fighting these wars, and many of them were signing up because they got enlistment bonuses or re-enlistment bonuses because there was no jobs back in their town in America, and we don't have free college. And the only place you can get health care or pay for your college is to go to war. And the other thing I saw, big corporations and the military industrial complex making crazy profits off of these wars. So of course, Bush, war criminal, is pushing for more money to Ukraine because it's a proxy war. And all it's going to do is destroy Ukraine and its people and Europe and probably the United States economy and maybe pull us in the brink of World War III. Because this is good for business. These are all the American and NATO bases surrounding Russia. We would never permit not one. We wouldn't allow not even one. We wouldn't allow a Russian tent with a BB gun in Canada. We wouldn't. Are you kidding me? They're like, there's a Russian military tent just outside, on the other side of the border, near North Dakota. And it's just one Russian soldier with a BB gun. We would be like, absolutely not. No way. And look at this. And then look at all the bases surrounding China, the other enemy. But this is good business, man. I've shown you this all along. And if you're a vote any blue will do liberal and you think, oh, those evil Republicans and their war. No. Congress just approved $40 billion more for Ukraine. Not one. And the Senate just ratified it. In the Senate, not one Democrat voted against it. It won 88-11. The 11 no's were Republicans. Doesn't mean the Republicans, they love war. They're against how the Democrats do war. And when the Republicans are in power, the Democrats are against how the Republicans do war. They're never against war. It's all business, kids. It's all money. Is this exciting? What's this ad for, Graham? Is this like technology or is this like, it's a travel app? Meet new people, travel around the world. Like a language, a translator. So when you travel, you can communicate with people from the other parts of the world. Oh no, it's for war. Raytheon.
We see these beautiful pictures at night from the decks of these two U.S. Navy vessels.
By the way, what Brian Williams is talking about, that was Trump's first bombing of Syria. So anyone's like, Trump would have been anti-war. I don't know what you were doing 5 years ago.
Cohen, I'm guided by the beauty of our weapons.
What?
We are one global team,
creating trusted, innovative solutions
to make the world a safer place.
No, to profit for billionaires. This guy, Republican, warned about it.
A vital element in keeping the peace is our military establishment. Our arms must be mighty, ready for instant action, so that no potential aggressor may be tempted to risk his own destruction. Our military organization today bears little relation to that known of any of my predecessors in peacetime, or indeed by the fighting men of World War II or Korea. Until the latest of our world conflicts, the United States had no armaments industry. American makers of plowshares could, with time and as required, make swords as well. But we can no longer risk emergency improvisation of national defense. We have been compelled to create a permanent armaments industry of vast proportions. Added to this, 3.5 million men and women are directly engaged in the defense establishment. We annually spend on military security alone more than the net income of all United States corporations. Now, this conjunction of an immense military establishment and a large arms industry is new in the American experience. The total influence, economic, political, even spiritual, is felt in every city, every state house, every office of the federal government. We recognize the imperative need for this development, yet we must not fail to comprehend its grave implications. Our toil, resources, and livelihood are all involved. So is the very structure of our society. In the councils of government, We must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex. The potential for the disastrous rise of misplaced power exists and will persist. We must never let the weight of this combination endanger our liberties or democratic processes.
He's talking about Boeing and Raytheon. Those companies, I don't even think they've been invented yet. Maybe Boeing was, but Raytheon and all them, I don't even know they've been around yet. He didn't realize he was talking about people like George Bush and Obama and Trump and Biden. But he was. That's who he's talking about. General Austin, former Raytheon board of directors, that's now the Secretary of Defense. First black Secretary of Defense. Doesn't matter. That's window dressing. Because it's just keeping the military-industrial complex going. And George Bush thinks it's funny that he's responsible for over 1 million deaths of Iraqis who did nothing. And many of them were just what they call unintended targets. They just bomb the shit out and they kill innocents. So what? Unintended targets. Unintended targets? Oh, anybody watching this? Use that with your significant other. Hey, baby, I'm, when I slept with that other person, I wasn't cheating on you. It was an unintended target. Yeah, that's what happened. I was going to put my dick inside of you, but the laser guided system, we got bad intel, and all of a sudden I was having sex with this other lady. I don't know what happened. It's an unintended target. Or secondary targets. That's another excuse for killing innocent people. It was a secondary target. Right. Because you've heard all those NFL quarterbacks in post-game press conferences after games they've lost saying, well, no, I didn't throw any interceptions. I just, those were secondary targets. Yeah, sure. They were guys in different colored uniforms. And that last one I threw cost us the game, but it wasn't an interception. It was a secondary target. I'll quote a line from one of my favorite movies, Apocalypse Now, which shows the egregious wars of Vietnam. It also had a very negative view of Vietnamese people, and it's very colonialist in that regard. But as far as a movie goes and an anti-war message, it is good in that sense. And it says, oh man, the shit piled up so high in Vietnam, you need wings to stay above it. That's the United States now. An out of control, bloated empire, endless wars, money shipped to all these wars all overseas. We're now sending troops back to Somalia because oil, I'm sure, and minerals for cell phones or something. You and I can't get free healthcare. Our kids can't get free college. Your student debt can't get forgiven. We can't fix crumbling infrastructure. America is going under. And people like George Bush made it happen, and they're laughing about it because they don't care. He's 75. He's going to be dead soon. He doesn't give a shit. Pelosi, the Clintons, Obama, the Trumps, they're all old assholes that have just sucked the life and money out of this country so that a handful of rich people can profit while the world literally suffers. Follow the money, connect the dots, get the truth. Shave your knuckles for justice. Boom.